You be live on Facebook in 3, 2 seconds. Why did you start using your butt, mommy?
Ashka,
Why?
don't that. You were saying like that.
You be
So put this on this side, no?
live on Facebook in 3, 2 seconds.
Oh shoot.
Why did you start using your butt, mommy?
Ashka,
Why?
don't that. You were saying like that.
You be
So put this on this side, no?
live on Facebook in 3, 2 seconds.
Oh shoot.
Why did you start using your butt, mommy?
Ashka, don't that. You were saying like that.
You be
Put this on this side, no?
live on Facebook in 3, 2 seconds. Why did you start using your butt, mommy?
Ashka, don't that. You were saying like that. Put this on this side, no?
Live on Facebook in 3, 2 seconds. Why did you start using your butt, mommy?
Ashka, don't that. You were saying like that.
You are on. I can't see.
I didn't know that you are like me.
You know, it's not my fault. When you were on Facebook as well. But I'm going to refresh the page. Or I just go.
So day 5, I think it's only 6:30, is it?
6:32.
Perfect. So day 5, and we were talking about Ma Skanda Mata. I don't even think I'm fully visible in this.
You're turning about, yeah.
Oh, yes, my love. So day 5 is Ma Skanda Mata. Ma Skanda Mata is the form of Ma after the cosmic creation, after truly believing how we did in Ma Chandra Ghanta, that she is carrying that pot of honey, and now we have a little child sitting in Ma's lap. And it's so beautiful. Yesterday was lovely actually. We spoke so much about Shiva and Shakti and the true union, that at every single point, whether it be the needs of the chakra, like each union has to happen before the chakras can rise from the root to the higher levels. So as much as a lot of people feel, right, I have a higher purpose, I have a higher purpose, but in every age and at every stage and season of your life, you will have a different purpose, which is your highest purpose in that time. Like we say, dharma, right? So in that moment, what is your dharma? To do the right thing by your family, by your work in your workplace. At every level, when you are doing your excellence, showing excellence, is how you are rising. Where you are away from any energies, any thoughts that is depleting your energy. So science says that when you are in presence of someone who has high energy, high frequency vibrations, you are going to rise like this. You are going to be, your energy will scale up by 15%. But guess what? If you come in contact with somebody who is draining your energy, they're depleting your energy. So anybody who has a lower frequency than yours, you are going to lower and get depleted by as much as 35%, which is so much. It's twice the ratio. And it's the same like how we talk about in weeds and flowers, right? When we have to garden the flowers, you have to really nurture it, take good care, give correct amount of sun, correct amount of water. Otherwise it can go, it can rot, or it won't grow, it won't nurture. But weeds, they grow so fast. So negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative narratives, people talking negatively about anything, that is all like weeds. It does not need any care, any nurture. You just give it one bit of space and it starts to acquire, right? It starts to take space. And have you seen like so many, like we have rose buds, rose plants, and it's so easy for it to get the aphids and all, right? And even the weeds, they so quickly intertwine and they're rolled up and into the shrubs. The wonderful thing is actually that if you have noticed, it happens to the shrubs, but it does not happen to the trees, right? They'll climb up some parts of the tree, maybe like a foot or so, but it cannot reach higher to the to its branches. Why? Because that roots are so strong. And why? Because it's risen, it's higher. So that is why it's very, very important for us to rise the frequency. So today we are going to talk about how we can get into that frequency that is allowing us to become that person who we are meant to be. So I always say that we are a perfect image of God, the inner being, the one that lives within, that deeper one in us, the spirit, is it's a perfect image of the divine herself. And I pray to Ma every day. This is my prayer, that allow me to become the best version of me and the person who I have come to become. Right? Because when we truly believe that when we take birth, we have come with a agenda. We took birth, when before we took birth, we decided, we spoke to the divine that okay, from my past karmas and past life, this is what I feel, this is how I lived my life, and I feel I should have learned this lesson, and I should have not done this thing, and I should have done this, I won't want to have this, and so on. That list. Why am I hearing myself so much? I have not been hearing myself last few days.
I can just lower your volume so you don't hear yourself.
But then they will hear me?
Yeah, they'll all hear you. Okay.
So, but make sure that
I will check on it.
if anybody else can hear me then.
Just can you in the comments?
Can you guys hear me?
Can you
You
thumbs
will have
up
to, and
or
you will have to
say?
read. I cannot read so far.
I'll let you know if you say something.
So what happens is that, and where was I completely forgot. So the risen frequency,
Your karma.
the karma, right? So we come with a bottle, we come with a reason and a purpose in life, and then we come here. But when we come here, we are born at the base level. The Kundalini comes all the way down and begins the journey back from the root. So we forget and we start identifying ourselves with the identity that we have taken birth as today in this life. But then the karma that we had decided that because I want to learn this and I want to learn that, I want to have this kind of life, I want this kind of parents who will guide me, who will teach me, or sometimes, parents or friends or family. Remember we say, like a lot of even the, Insta posts and everything will say that some people are here for a reason, some people are here for a season. Why does that happen? Because they have come. So a lot of people in our lives come because we have chosen a path where we want guidance, and then a guru shows up in our life. But in some cases, we want to learn it a different way, and we say, okay, let the person come in and give me that opportunity, give me a situation where I have to navigate that situation. I have to be able to tap into my resources, tap into my deeper spirit, the strengths that I have, the virtues that I have, the power that I have, the light which I am. And that brings me to what we were talking yesterday, that we are the light within, and it's very important for us to first tap into that. If you don't tap into that, that's when we become so reactive, like the weeds can creep up and take over us. Why? Because those are frequencies, that's the negative thoughts, and you have, all of us, not just you, including me, we don't have any idea. So quickly we get slipped into those negative thought patterns. Even sometimes it's not even others, it's us sometimes. We slip into it just by ourselves. Like we are ruminating on thoughts that are not serving us purpose. And self-sabotaging is such a big thing. We are actually the unlimited, like limitless human beings. Unstoppable. We have beautiful energy within. But so often we self-sabotage, right? we say, oh, I don't think I will be able to do it. How will I do it? Is it possible even? It's so hard. That's all limiting beliefs. Even those are all negative beliefs. They don't run on a higher frequency. So, I mean, this is too small. I don't think I can even, you guys can read this. Maybe if I bring it up close. But if whatever, like I can just say that everything, so hard up until here, when I say this is the core of the heart, this we had discussed a couple days back, everything under that is all fear, anger, despair, guilt, hatred, even guilt, right? We make mistakes, and then what happens? We cannot forgive ourselves, correct? So it's very important. It's not, the unconditional love is not only to forgive others, it is also to forgive ourselves. Because what we know now, we did not know earlier. And therefore, we made that mistake in ignorance. So to make a mistake is not something bad, because a mistake is an accident. You didn't know enough to not make that mistake. Asha, can people hear me? Oh, okay. Right? So at that, so it's very important that it's not about just forgiving others, it's about forgiving ourselves when we make mistakes. It's to forgive ourselves when we kind of sometimes slip into that rabbit hole, right? Like if we are saying that everything underneath is all guilt and fear and anger, and then there is a middle part. So middle ground is your, it's not super great, but it's still, now sadness goes into anxiety, then worry, then it goes a little bit up, then it starts to go into confidence. So confidence is, we are vibrating around the higher frequencies, but we are not connected to the core of the heart. So we may be having, some days are very confident, some days are very good, some days you make a mistake and then you get upset with yourself. I used to get so much upset. I still get upset with myself. I'm very strict with myself. So, and even that is self-sabotaging. It's okay to make mistakes because that's how we learn. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so even for ourselves, we have to let go of the mistakes that we make, and just because as soon as you get trapped into the mistakes and why it happened and this didn't happen, I didn't do it right, she didn't do it right, he didn't do it right, it's only going to bring you back down, right? So why does that happen? Because there are three identities, okay? One is the Divine Mother, the other is the one who knows the Divine Mother is within. Correct? So there is an identity or the rising identity. When we become aware, awareness is the first step to the rising of the identity. That we are no longer going to let ourselves be just trapped over here. We want to rise and connect to the core, connect to pure awareness and consciousness, and then get right up there and become that version of ourselves who we are meant to become, who we have come to become, who we have chosen to become that. So then, if that's the goal, how do we do it? This is so beautiful. Everything that's around the core. So again, like I said, this could be still, you could be confident and everything, but you are in the outside, you are in the universal law, in the bubble of resonance. You are there, you are vibrating. So it's still a reactive field. So sometimes you'll be confident, sometimes not. But when you start getting more and more and more in touch with the core and you're rising your frequency, and how do you rise it again? Like I said, day before yesterday, or maybe a couple times through the 5 days, that the most and the most important of all the emotions is the emotion of gratitude and unconditional love. So what is gratitude? Gratitude is actually, you can say it's a synonym for unconditional love, and I think I discussed this yesterday, that unconditional love, unconditional confidence, unconditional faith, unconditional surrender, unconditional, that all, when it comes together, that is gratitude. Because you can feel it within everything at an unconditional level, and that's what Ma Skanda Mata is portraying to us through that phase of life where, how we run for our child, right? We will do anything in the middle of the night. We don't care for our sleep. We don't care how we look. We know when we get pregnant, we are going to change our body, right? We are going to change our sleep patterns. Our life is not going to be any longer ours. And yet we do so out of that pure love, right, of becoming a mother. And that is such an unconditional love. There is no other expression than that, which is so pure, so beautiful, so forgiving, so unconditional. They do not, a mother does not expect anything in return. Yes, it feels beautiful when the child loves you, holds your cheek, or holds your hand and plays with your hand and caresses you. That's a beautiful feeling. But you are not doing it for that. You are doing it, and that's just the outcome. It's just a byproduct. Correct? So that's how this faith and gratitude and everything will work. It is everything else is a byproduct of that frequency. So to rise that frequency, and like we discussed yesterday, that you will have to go rise between those levels of chakra, each chakra. All your needs have to be met before you have to be able to find the survival needs, right? You have to be able to satisfy those and find that security. Then you have to be able to find the love, right? That emotional needs. And you have to find true love, then you know how to give love. That's the relationship that teaches you to become unconditional later on. Correct? That's how. And then have you achieve your self-belief and achieve your achievements, and you feel still empty. This is not it. Like, maybe I need something else. What do I need? You start questioning yourself. And that's when you realize that just achieving all the material gains is not giving you that happiness, because one is over and you want the other one. It's always, if you have noticed, as soon as, so I have been preparing for, I was preparing in between for a speech. The speech will come, the speech came. I was live, I manifested that speech, and I went to a show. I was invited to an event, not show, sorry, to an event where I had to speak, and I was so proud of it. I was so happy. And then I finished that event, and then what? Oh, now I want the next event. Oh, now I want to do the next workshop, next podcast. Why? Because we are not feeling that deep wholeness, the fulfillment that we are supposed to feel. And that's why we seek from here, from there. I want this, now I want that, because it's never ending. And we'll always have something to achieve, because we are always in the seeking of the end, of the destination. And a lot of times we actually, in fact, forget to enjoy the journey, and we are so consumed by the end result. And the end result comes, and then next one. Okay, now what? Now next, right? But the beauty is, like, even, right? And that's actually pregnancy that teaches us that how you can enjoy the journey. Yes, by the end of, I think, eighth, ninth months, then you want the destination. You want the baby in your hand, and you want to hold him or her. But how we enjoy the first 7 months, right? We are patient. We know that it's coming, that the baby is there. We are pregnant now, and the baby is coming. So similarly, even for gratitude, it's like a belief that you will have to first cultivate, that everything else will follow. You cannot be complaining. See, we cannot be at two places at the same time, right? We are made of matter, correct? So we can either be in a zone of gratitude, or we can be in the zone of hatred. Now, we don't know how to just step away from anger or upset or sadness or whatever we are feeling in that moment. So what do? So you bring something else in the foreground, and something else is that high frequency vibrations, the frequency of gratitude. You bring that in the foreground, and that becomes so, it vibrates so much higher that it raises your frequency, and anything that's not in resonance with that frequency has to leave. The everything around you starts to recalibrate as per your setting, as per your tone, as per your frequency. So if you can little by little just keep rising your frequency, then that is what the magic, that's where the magic happens. But you got to trust the process. Have you ever, do you see the plant? Sorry, do you plant a seed and then start digging back up? Then did the plant start germinating? No, right? Why? Because here you have seen through experience that The plant will germinate as long as we give food, fertilizers, nurture, sun, water. The plant has to germinate. If I have put the seeds in, then it has to germinate, right? It's nature. Similarly, this is also nature. Once you start rising that frequency and you start seeing those validations, and I know it's difficult sometimes because the plant you have seen others do it and it's very easy for you to believe. But for gratitude, you can't so much like easily process that that's going to do that magic that I'm talking about. But trust me, I have planted that seed, the seed of gratitude, and I have changed my life and it's shown magic. Ashka, can you please bring me water bottle?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So, this one is done, sorry. So, kindness, compassion, love, joy, right? Peace, even peace. Just be, when you are at peace, things are working out for you, right? If we see actually, and our body tells us, right? That's why there is day and night. We have to run and work and do things in the day, but then we have to rest our body in the night. It's the same thing. Our emotions are so much driven constantly that we don't give it peace. That's why it's recommended do meditation, which I don't, but I do gratitude. So you can pick a tool of your choice that will allow you to align and center yourself into that peace, into that core. So what is the core of the heart? What I keep saying, that's the true, your authentic identity, the truest self that you are, right? The purest self that you are. And what it is that the core is, it's your, actually it's a north of your compass, right? And it's an inner compass, it's a guidance system, correct? So anytime if you are not going upwards, if you're not going north, then know that you are not in the right direction. So if there is anything that's pulling you down, dragging you down, if there is any kind of guilt, shame, anger, upset, fights, conflicts, even if the conflict, even if you don't word it, it's still going on. So that's all going to drag you down. Your goal is in every new moment, and the simplest thing you can do is, if you have to first become aware, obviously. If you're not aware, you won't know. But once you become aware, then it's very simple. Anything you are thinking, just tell yourself, just not right now. Just not right now. Yes, this is important, but just not right now. What you are doing is you are training your focus and your conscious mind to take control. Every time you say just not right now, let's just leave it right now. Even if you are leaving it for 15 minutes, you don't have to leave it for the whole day. And I know, I say it by experience, I feel that, no, I have to finish this. I must get this done. If I don't do it, who is going to do it? So I get that. We feel that. But even if you are feeling that, even if you can just make a practice of every single day, just tuning in to that peace, whether it's through gratitude, whether it's through bhajan, whether it is through meditation, whether it's through whatever you want to pick. But center yourself. Every time you are centering yourself, you are telling your brain that your heart is ready to align with your brain, but in the sense as not the reactive brain, not the reactive heart, but the core of your heart is ready to connect with the core of your uh, conscious, your conscious brain, right? Your pure awareness. Coming from there, so I'll tell you my few things that I use. I use bhakti. For me, bhakti is the most easiest. My husband does meditation. He does 5 hours of meditation. When I started meditation, I couldn't even do 10 minutes of meditation. But I listen to Dakla. Oh my God, I love Dakla. Dakla is the Guju. Most of you may be knowing, but it's a Gujarati garbo. But Dakla is an instrument, and somehow it just invokes some beautiful energy within me, and I can literally feel Ma vibrating within me. And I can hear Dakla for like a couple hours, and I'll be lost in it, literally not thinking about anything else. And in fact, that brings me to, I will probably be doing live tomorrow about the Dakla's hidden meaning that Ma has given me. And that's so beautiful. When I understand those meanings, like it's such a different feeling altogether. So that I'll talk about tomorrow. But so that's one thing you can do. You can do bhakti. You can do meditation or gratitude, which we said in bhakti. So when initially I used to feel that I want to tune in, what I used to do is that brings me to surrender. That I used to tell Ma only that Ma, please draw me in the direction that brings me closer to you. And that my prayer has been now continued for years now. And all I say is, oh, I say it in Gujarati, but and many of you may understand. If you cannot understand, I can answer what it means. But mara dil ma, mara hriday ma, mara chit ma, mara dhyan ma, mara vichar ma, mara thought. So I can actually say it in English. In my heart, in my mind, in my thoughts, in my emotions, in my speech, in every single way, you be present and only allow me to go in the direction that which is aligned with your will and your vision of me. And then I tell her that draw me in that direction, so that way I don't feel the conflict, the push and pull, the tug of the human needs and then the divine attributes. So how about this, Ma? Please, you only draw me in that direction. So it makes I was able to put that faith. So faith is a very important. Faith is something, and my daughter had once given me this quote, and I love that quote. That faith and fear both requires you to see something, to believe in something that you have not seen or that you cannot see. Right? We cannot see air, we cannot see thoughts, we cannot see emotion, but we can feel it, we know it, right? You can make a choice that if both is unseen, if the fear is unseen, the faith is unseen, you don't know what is going to happen, then it's a choice you want to make where you want to put your attention to, right? So the faith is that's the bhakti, and the faith is like that's what actually lights up. So these are the bleachers, right? And they light up when you start channeling in. You won't see the whole path. You will see but one step, then the next step, then the next step. And once your, this is called coherence, even science says now, Joe Dispenza says it, your heart and brain coherence. It talks about, oh my God, can somebody take the toy from Jadu? So, if, Joe Dispenza says that your brain and heart coherence is very important for you to manifest something. And the same goes for whether you want to manifest money, you want to manifest love, or you want to manifest divinity. It's the same thing. But even so, I will say that how does, so not everybody wants to be spiritual, but as your chakras are rising, as you are meeting needs after needs after needs after needs, your like what I was saying in the beginning, that the contract that we have given, the soul contract, that contract is not the great word, that I don't like it so much. But the decision that you have made for yourself, the choices of how you want to live your life, that will come through, and it will initiate that where you want to find peace, want to find purpose, and slowly you start to bring yourself in. As soon as you start centering yourself in, you will see the truth. Even if you are, so it is so beautiful. So that's why actually the Divine Mother, look at that, look at the kindness and the generosity that she has, right? She has planned it in such a way that, okay, even for the sake of manifestation, at least do what it's supposed to be done. So just at least start aligning your emotions with the core of the emotions, align your pure consciousness, don't get scattered energy, don't become unconscious of your thoughts, don't keep that record on, let that, become aware of those thoughts, let those thoughts go out of your vicinity and channel into oneness so that you can achieve money, so that you can achieve success, love, whatever you want. At least do those things. So actually, it's so beautiful. She, like a mother, like all of us do it, right? Okay, we tell our children, right? If you eat this, I'll give you this also, right? So at least go for it. You like this, no? So you go for it. That's how she is getting us into the true source of light. That we may not, for us to fathom at a different level to, oh, that we are light and we are only the divine light, or we are the divinity, it's not so believable for us. So that is why she shows us first the path to achieve this, achieve that, achieve that, achieve that. When you are done with everything and you still feel, no, I want to achieve something more, all right, I'm here waiting for you forever and always. Come, right? And then she'll guide you for that also. She's not going to hold against you that, oh, all this time you wanted the money and the success and the love and this and that and everything. Now you want me? She's happy. She's like, okay, good. Now finally you got it, right? So that's the beauty. So whenever, if you keep telling Ma that, Ma, you are my Sarathi and you take the reins, you take the wheels, and just lead me in the direction that brings me closer to you. Or right now you can just say, Ma, you are my Sarthi, bring me in the direction that easily brings me to money, easily brings me to this. I know a lot of people, and even I say, which I never ask for money or success or anything. I say, you do what you think is right for me. But I truly, truly think that it's okay for you to ask for money or for this. Because who will we ask from, right? Don't our children ask for, oh, can you make pizza today? Can you make puran puri today? Can you make that today, this today? So it's okay to ask if you want to ask for that also. Just don't be going to her only when you need something. And yet, she is still, I am saying you don't do it. But she is Dayalu. She is very compassionate and kind. No matter, if you are putting, you have to be putting the hard work. You have to be putting that, you have to bring in that alignment between yourself, your heart and your brain. Without that, it's not, because it's still a universe of cause and effect, of coherence, of there is a resonance, the law of attraction. So there are universal laws that are active. So you are not going to be able to dodge those. But as long as you are channeled in and you are telling her that you are my Sarthi, then she will lead your way. She will guide you. Another thing I wanted to say was, so this is the Divine Mother, and this is, look at that, that's the umbilical cord. This is the cosmic womb. This is the cosmic womb, and we are forever connected. So even when we feel we are not connected, that's just our focus on the absence of it. Right? True, in the reality, we are not disconnected. We are forever connected. Like now there are these sonograms and everything, right? That people can see that inside the child is connected with the mother's umbilical cord, right? But when there was no science or there was no sonograms, there was a belief that the baby is inside and it's getting all the nutrition, everything that the baby needs will receive it. That's the same thing. You have to go with that belief. If you can go with that belief for, even 90 days, that belief will start entraining your other emotions. Ma herself will entrain you. Her frequency, her high intensity urja will entrain your urja and your chetna. Right? So you have to go with that belief. And this umbilical cord is forever connected. But when you connect your pure awareness and your heart, that coherence happens, and that's when this light, this bridge that you were not able to see before, it's invisible, you will start to see. If anybody has seen Indiana Jones, it was a movie, and so I think that person has to go somewhere and he has to cross the valley, and that person is told that there will be steps and that will take you to the next side of the valley. And when he reaches there, he doesn't see the steps, and it is, he waits for a while, he can't figure out what to do, and then he has no option but to move forward, and he just puts that faith in and takes a leap of faith. That's why we call leap of faith. So he just steps without seeing if there was nothing down there. So it's like you are stepping in the blind, in the unaware, unknown field. As soon as he steps down, the stairs show up by itself. Similarly, Like as soon as you connect, the bridge shows up by itself without you doing anything. All you have to do is just keep raising your frequency. And that's the magic right there. Nothing else. Everything that I've done in my life, the biggest shift that I've done, I need you. Come. We'll show it to everyone. We'll show you to everyone. So everything that I've done in my life has just exponentially shown me growth and everything that I wanted, the way I wanted, and even more, many, many folds more. And like tissue, we also got tissue. Um, did I say about the gardener that about the seeds that germinating or not? You know who is it? Ashoka Ramya, the client that you were with. You have met him.
Okay.
You might have his number on your phone.
I thought I could have called him.
He might or might not have it.
It's fine. They'll call back when you're there.
But this is the third call, but at least text him.
Sure. I know.
So I'm very sorry. I have been getting calls from a client. I am also in real estate, which I like yesterday I said we still have to keep doing the karma that we are supposed to in the season of life wherever we are in, right? But anyways, yeah. So another important thing. So I had written a few points. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. So the example of faith. I wanted to give you an example of the bicycle. So how when our children are growing and we train them for the bicycle ride, right? First we put those training wheels. First we put the training wheels, but then after we remove the training wheels, they want that security, so we hold from behind. Correct? And what we do is we know that he can ride or she can ride all by herself. But she is concerned, so we hold it, right? We hold the bike and then we let go of it because we know it took, she or he knows how to do it. And they go, but as soon as they realize that, oh, nobody has my back, we have their back, we are right there. But they realize that we are not holding it and they turn. So when they realize that we are not holding is not when the trip happens. But when they turn to check, oh my God, where are my parents, is when actually either they take a wrong turn or they fall or they, why? So that's the panic. So that's what I wanted to explain also. That how during the pregnancy or how during when we plant a seed, we completely detach from, how and when and which way is it happening. It is happening. We have that conviction, right? That level of faith that it's going to happen. Similarly, we cannot be, that's what we do, like a child on the bicycle, that as soon as we feel like nothing is happening, or we try checking it, that am I taken care of, and does somebody have my back, and that's why we turn, we take complete, we lose balance. That's what happens. So you have to be very, very, you have to count on that process. Just trust the process and just keep moving forward. And trust me, everything comes down as a byproduct. And that's how it works. Another part was, oh my God. So that's another one. Skydiving. My daughter did skydiving. A lot of people do skydiving, right? And you are literally jumping from the sky, letting yourself go, just like you don't know what's gonna, you're trusting the process that the parachute will open, correct? And in fact, once the parachute opens, then it's a smoother ride, but the actual major expansion is happening when the parachute is not opening. That's when you're experiencing that thrill, that occurrence of that event, correct? Once the parachute is open, now it's all smooth and slowly, but you're not going for that parachute smooth ride. What are you going is for that expansion of your emotions, which you feel, that liberation. That's why you go for that. But so easily we can have that faith, correct? So faith is something that's inbuilt in us. It's natural for us. We go in a flight just trusting the pilot. We don't even know that pilot. We are just trusting that he has done good education and he'll be able to do it right. And we just trust that this flight is not going to have any mess up or any problem, right? So many times accidents happen and we still trust. There have been accidents in the roller coasters and we still go and enjoy. Why? Because it's very natural for us to have that faith. So why not have that faith in this direction? When anything else is occurring, don't let that disturb your faith. If anything around you is not working out for you, that understand that that's that gestational period before you, once you get pregnant till the baby comes, that period is required. Why is that period required? Because the baby is forming and you are also forming. Your emotions are forming. As a mother, you will have to, first you have to get prepared, right? First you have to prepare to see how your body is changing, how you are feeling. We go through so many different phases of pregnancy. We have sickness, morning sickness, this, that. We feel backaches, we can't handle it. So what is that? That's a training. That's a training for us to first get ready so that when the baby comes, we are ready to embrace it with so much love and enthusiasm. But if today I get pregnant and tomorrow I deliver the baby, I did not get the time to prepare my body, prepare my mind, prepare my emotions, prepare my thoughts, prepare my, as much as prepare even bringing crib or everything, right? Bringing crib, getting the clothes or whatever it is. So everything needs that preparation. And that's the reason that sometimes when you want something, until it comes, it takes some time, right? So to be able to feel that unconditional love, unconditional gratitude, that the goal is going to be slowly focusing every single day. Give 15 minutes. 15 minutes won't change like magic everything today. But if you give 15 minutes, then once you start giving 15 minutes, you will start enjoying it and you will find that, that feeling of that peace and that calm and tranquility that you'll feel, no, you want to do this more, and you'll naturally go into it. You don't have to force yourself. You can start with 3 things, 10 minutes or 5 things that you want to write or whatever you want to do. But start somewhere, because that will take you, by itself, it will draw you in. Another thing, inertia I wanted to talk about. So what is inertia? Like we talked about in the day of pendulum when we were talking about desires. Inertia is that if you are paused, like if you are in a steady, if you are standing straight, you won't move, right? If an object won't move until an external force comes and hits us. Similarly, if you are moving, it won't stop until an external um, um, external conflict happens or the obstacle happens, right? So that's what we are in all day, every day, because we are so used to, we are in a state of inertia, because we are so used to the thought patterns that we are thinking, that loops, that whatever it, however we have been living, that's been so instilled in us that for us to take up a new task or a new habit or to think differently, it requires that force, that external force. And in this case, I'm not talking about the external force, I'm talking about the internal force. And that's why I say that connect to the core of your heart and connect to your pure consciousness, pure awareness, and that together will knock that inertia out of you. And it will start, this then starts to spiral. This is the vortex of energy and this will take over. You have to do nothing. Once you connect this and this, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to reach here. Even if you start here, connecting with your core, appreciating, loving, forgiving, being compassionate, being joyful, being in a flow state. As long as you are embracing these emotions steadily and constantly, you will. When there is a mistake happening, try to control. Okay, you felt like saying it 5 times, you controlled at least 3 times. Then 2 times you said it. That's okay, right? But there is some changes that are happening. As long as you are doing that, this gate opens up. So this heart that's closed, that opens up. Ma opens it for you, right? The more you tune into it, you are still in that universal laws, but there is an invisible shield that's created for you. What does that mean? The shield means, it does not mean that there won't be any issues happening in your life or you won't have any challenges. But anytime the challenges come, you'll be able to stand up with courage and rise above the challenges. The rain will still come, but what will happen? You'll have an umbrella before the rain comes. Correct? You will probably go around that whirlpool or whatever, what is it called? In the water there is the whirlpool, yeah. Your boat might be going in, but your sails will direct the other way. As long as you have anchored, if you have anchored in her, then even though all this is happening, but you are anchored in her, your boat cannot go further away and slip into that whirlpool of thoughts, the emotions or the turmoil that you may be going through, or any challenges that come. It won't absorb you, it won't consume you, because you will be anchored in Ma. And that keeps you closer in this vicinity, not allowing you to get into that reactive zone. The reactive zone is still there. And then again, we bring it up the same way, like the algorithm. We can, like the phone algorithm, that there is everything happening on the internet, but your phone shows you only the subjects that you are interested in. So when you constantly anchor yourself back in bhakti, anchor yourself back in the faith, in the knowing that the process is true and I will be there and rest, everything will be taken care of, you will see very soon, you will start seeing the byproducts. So keep going, and anytime the fears will happen, the doubts will happen, the insecurity will come, and suddenly this bridge that is lighted, suddenly there will be fog around and you won't see the light, you won't see the bridge, and you'll be like, oh no, I'm disconnected. What happened? Did it go away? What happened to my laptop? I think it closed, whatever. So you will feel that it vanished suddenly, but it's not vanishing. It's right there. It's only your absence of focus. You feel in your head and you let the insecurity or the doubt take over your energy. So it kind of just covered up all this area. It doesn't mean that this is gone. This is all still there. But it's just covered for a little bit. Don't start looking for a new way. You don't need to. I used to do that, and that's why I'm able to guide you. That as soon as we start getting, flustered, and as soon as we get out of the sight of it, we start to kind of feel that, oh, where's it gone, and we start to look for new ways to do it. You don't have to look for new ways. The same way is working. All you have to do is anchor yourself back in that core of your emotions. Anchor yourself in the north of your compass. Anchor yourself that where it is the faith, the belief, the surrender, the trust the process, right? And the bhakti, oh my God, bhakti and sarthi. When you keep telling her, Ma, you are my sarthi, she will have control. But she's a very sweet mother. Every time you want to take the wheel off her hand, she'll say, okay, beta, take the wheel off my hand, off my hand. You can take it, you can drive. Then we start driving and then we start to lose the way. And then we get upset and then we kind of try again. Like yesterday how I was explaining, we'll then try again all our Narayani Sena instead of calling Narayan himself. So we'll try everything through our five senses, through our akkal, through our intellect, through our abilities and, intellect and arguments and power to tackle everything. And then we finally give up. As soon as we give up and we say, Ma, I surrender, she'll take back the wheels again. But of course, now if all that time till we didn't tell her to take it back, the wheel, we may have strayed away, then that's that many miles that we have gone away from we have gone detoured. So we'll have to bring back, it'll take some time. You may have wasted that time, and that's all right. Ma says that, my husband always reminds me, Ma says that this universe is unlimited, abundant, And so are you, and your janam are also, the births that you can take is also unlimited. You'll not learn in this birth, you'll learn in next birth. That's okay. I am patient, she says. But it's up to us. We get impatient anyways, right? So it's up to us to realize that are we saying that I surrender to you, but then we constantly try to take the wheels off her hands. Then she's going to say, okay, Bra, you keep the wheels, because she wants to see us happy. That's why she gave us the free will to choose. So she'll say, okay, you choose what you want to do, and she'll let us choose. It's up to us what we want to choose. If you want to choose that she be your sati, then you have to keep saying this every day, doing that every day. And saying doesn't just do it, right? You have to be willing to let go. And again, that also comes down to the same thing, that level of faith and surrender where you literally let go of everything. It's not going to happen day one. But when you are tuning in, little by little, you just start believing the processes. You start trusting the process. Then you'll see small manifestations happen, whether it's about money, whether it's about love, whether it's about, like for me, it was a speaking engagement that I wanted. Every that small little things that is being taken care of, you will start having that, you'll build your faith, and that energy will escalate of like the good energy of, that vortex will spiral up and take you upwards in further belief and further faith and further expansion. So it is important for us to start though small, even though we are starting from somewhere, and little by little that faith will build. The only way to that is, I think I almost covered all the topics in this, but one nice thing I wanted to share was also how you can let go. So, right, channeling into gratitude and going away from judgments and, um, you know, complaints. Complaints and judgments, they are your big energy depleter. Very, very big energy depleter. Even if it is for like few seconds or few hours, it will drain you off, right? So it's not worth it. And it gets challenging. I understand it gets challenging. But so what happens is, so perception is actually when a situation happens, we start judging not the situation but the person itself, right? That's where the biases come out from. And when the biases happen, then we want the, then the group bias, crowd biases happen. Somebody believes it, so you start believing in that automatically. Just because five other people are believing in it. That this is wrong, or that's bad, or she is bad, or he is bad, or he's angry, or whatever it is, doesn't matter. So half the judgments are coming only from the biases. You may not even have encountered any part of it, and you will still flow with it because 10 other people are saying it. So it's very important for you to be so much aware, and what company are you keeping. Like I said earlier, the company you keep can either raise your frequency or deplete your frequency. The raising of the frequency is 15%. If you are with somebody who is talking positive, who is always tuned into positivity, love, growth, gratitude, then your frequency will raise. But when you are staying around people, talking to people, or for that matter, not people, scanning on those phones, right? We keep doom scrolling, and then we are looking at bad news, trash news, things are happening, this is happening, that everybody's like that, she said that, like it's so many things, even the stories and everything. I don't know, I don't see much, but sometimes when kids are seeing, I say, why waste your energy? But those topics also, what are you observing 24/7? Whatever you observe is what you are absorbing. Observing is becoming an absorption, and that absorption is now occupying majority of your space in your heart, in your mind, everywhere. So what energy is occupying your heart space? What energy is occupying your mind space? That's very, very important for you to be very, very aware and stay away from complaints, from doubts, from uh, judgments, from perceptions. Let everybody be. And of course, if you are living in the same family, if you have, you know, like we have to tell our children in a good way. We can always say that in a good way, right? Or we have to, between husband and wife, they have to come to, what works and what doesn't work between them. And so you have to say it nicely and discuss it. That's fine. But are you ruminating in that? And especially when it's from outside, it should not. You should not indulge in what is happening in their house and what did they do, and that's their life. It does not affect you. They are not going to come to change your life in a better way. So do not indulge yourself anywhere which is depleting your energy. That's the biggest goal you should have. Constantly. Where should be your focus? Your focus should be on growth and gratitude. That's period. Your focus should be on rising your frequency. And anything beyond that, anything away from that, that takes you away from that, is not serving you any purpose. So don't indulge in that. Another one thing I wanted to say is how to write gratitude. So a lot of people, so when I started writing gratitude, I used to write, oh, I'm very grateful for my hands, I'm grateful for my legs, right? But then slowly I started to write, I'm very grateful to my hands. It allows me to write gratitude. I'm very grateful to my hands because it's allowing me to feed my kids. I'm very grateful to my hands because I'm able to do things that I could not. That there are so many people who don't have that and don't have that, ability to use their hands. I'm able to do everything. I'm able to plant, water the plant. I'm able to cook for my children, cook for my husband. I'm able to do love. I can pet my child. I can pamper my child with that. How many things I can do? So go in the matrix of it. Make a storytelling. Don't just write, I appreciate my hands and I appreciate my legs. Then you will be done in 2 minutes. That energy is not going to accumulate. Why you appreciate? Start explaining that. I am very grateful, right? I write it. I am very grateful for the blessings that I see it every day. But I am also very grateful for the blessings that I don't recognize it just because they are a part, because we have access to it all day, every day. So we don't realize how important those are, right? Because a lot of things we just take it for granted. We have a car, we take it for granted. My husband always thanks the car. Do we thank the car? Do you say, oh, thank goodness I was able to go from place A to place B, from home to work, and so easily? We don't, a lot of times, right? So do that. I'm very grateful for the beautiful window I have in my kitchen. It allows me to appreciate the lush green garden outside. It allows me to see the rose outside and the blooms outside. I'm so grateful to the sun, who is unconditional. That is actually unconditional. That's where we learn unconditionality, right? What is unconditional love? The sun stands tall. Whether you choose to close the curtain or not, the sun will keep shining bright and shining brilliantly for all of us. Whoever wants it, take it freely. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't charge you anything. That's unconditional love. That water, right? Rain happens. It doesn't have any agenda. It just has, the agenda is to serve the earth. That's it. To give water to the plants, right? And to give water to all of us. So, like the moon shines for who? Right? For everybody. You don't have to be rich to enjoy the moon. You don't have to have so much money or do anything or do any extra work to achieve, to be able to look at the sun or look at the moon. Yeah, you have to wake up. That's the extra thing you'll have to do. You'll have to wake up and see the sun. Otherwise, that's also to suffer the sunrise. Otherwise, the sun is prevalent all day, every day. So that is unconditional love. When I used to write gratitude, I still write gratitude, but one of the times when I wrote, it was so beautiful that I'm extremely grateful to the rose and the seasons how rose comes, because it allows me to understand the value of patience. The roses have a blooming season. That's from say May or June to late frost. But even within that season, there are multiple sprouts. So multiple times it actually goes from so many blooms to no blooms, and then the more the buds are coming again, and then again it blooms. So there are blooming seasons, and between that season there are again seasons. So what does that teach? That teaches at 7:30 already. Thank you. So it teaches, what does that rose teach us? The rose teaches us that to be patient. That again, when you are not seeing the rose, right now it's dormant, that does not mean that the roses are not coming. The process is happening under the plant, right? Under the leaves, in the plant. You are not seeing the full-blown manifestation of it. So that's how I learned patience, and I would say I'm so grateful to the roses that they are teaching me patience. That they are teaching me that even through, like, especially for the frost, right? They die completely and then they again become alive. So that also teaches that it becomes dormant, but that does not mean that it's not going to come back again. So it teaches me the process and gives me patience and resilience, teaches me resilience. How resilient are roses, that they can survive through such a frost and let the weather takes its course, and then come down in that phase. They are shrunk and they are small and they are not blooming, and then they again start to sprout. That shows us the seasons. The whole life comes in seasons. We just get impatient. We cannot have summer all day every day. But when there is winter, we have to know that the process is still on. We can't see the roses right now, but they're resting right now. So that's a rest period, that's a patience period. And that's how you can tune in to growth, gratitude, patience, um, surrender, faith, Sarathi, allow Ma to be the Sarathi. And that's how you can abundantly start growing, and raise your frequency so much that eventually you come so much close to Ma. This, when she brings you in her arms, when she embraces you, oh my God, it becomes so beautiful. You will be in the reactive field, but anytime you are thinking of her, you will be completely zoned out of that reactive field. You will be so much involved in your own bhakti and own connection, and that will entrain your brain and your mind and your heart and your emotions, and you will naturally become so much more unconditional. And whether you feel it or not, others will feel it. Others will, Ma will be radiating her urja and energy through you. So I think it's already 7:30. So that's about it. Today's lesson was to become unconditional, and to become unconditionally loving and unconditionally grateful. You have to take your mind off of any kind of bitterness, any kind of resentment, any kind of self-centeredness. You cannot be absorbed only in yourself. You have to be willing to let that energy come out, let that urja come out and express through you. That divine urja has been waiting for you to open up. As soon as you open up and your heart opens up, that urja will express itself in the form of unconditional love. And with so much love and compassion to others. Others will see your kindness, your compassion, your love without you doing anything. You will become an expression of her urja and her divinity. So that was the lesson for today. Thank you so much for allowing me this beautiful opportunity to talk about Ma. And I just love to talk about Ma. So thank you so much again, once again, to give me this opportunity. Thank you. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.